When I would talk about the government being corrupt and the wars being fraudulent, people would think I was wacko. But when I got to Porcupine Freedom Fest for the first time, I found out that I wasn't the only person in the world that felt this way.
All right, so Porkfest stands for the Porcupine Freedom Festival.
We have a big summer event called the Porcupine Freedom Festival. That's held up north of the Notches in Lancaster, New Hampshire every summer.
And it's a week of everyone gathering, celebrating the success of freedom and the Free State Project, where
2,000 people show up every year to that.
The idea behind Porkfest is we want to convince people that are like-minded, convince them to move here.
I moved around to a few different cities. It was time to move again, so I decided, hey, I've been thinking about this Free State thing for a while, you know. That looks like a ton of fun. A freedom festival, like it's like 4th of July, but, you know, people who actually love liberty.
Hold on and be brave. I know you see that coming wave. Water is dear if we want to live, and the fire in our hearts is ours to give.
My name is Carla Garrick, but my friends call me Queen Quill. I moved with the Free State Project in 2008, so I'm sort of an OG early mover. I'm originally from South Africa. It was a nationalist apartheid police state, and I won a green card in the lottery in 1994. When we left South Africa and came to America, it was this relief. So we went through the dot-com bubble, and we were like, America is awesome. They give you massages at your desk. We had no idea that it wasn't really a normal economic cycle. And so when that crashed, actually, my husband lost his business, our company folded. So we were like, what just happened? And so having gone through that experience, it was the internet, it was the early days, we're all doing research, all the rabbit holes. And one of the rabbit holes took me to the Free State Project. And it's everything from you have a little more money in your pocket because taxes are lower, but it's also connecting with a community that's like-minded and just finding some friends. I mean, we're all weirdos, but it's like finding your tribe of weirdos. And then everyone was like, oh, you should run Porkfest. So no good deed goes unpunished, and that's sort of how I got involved. I mean, it's kind of like Christian camp with harder drugs.
You have a bunch of people walking around heavily armed and trading pot brownies. People think that's impossible, but it's here, and nobody gets shot and nobody overdoses. It really is this magical little place for elites.
I grew up in New York City. I had never seen so many guns in my life.
I'm carrying a SIG P365.
The right to keep and bear arms is necessary to the security of a free state. Because the whole point of that is for you to be armed, potentially against your own government.
The foundation of gun control was to stop freed slaves from seeking repercussions against their slave owners. Honestly, more guns means more freedom.
It was such a culture shock for me that I had to get over that. I spent 40 years feeling very isolated, and now I have thousands and thousands of people whom I feel very safe with. It's going to be hard to find a more peaceful festival than Porkfest, because that's our whole basis.
Everyone here is free to be who they are and don't have to deal with Uncle Sam sticking his boot up our patooties.
These are my people. All the quirkiness and everything, I love them.
icebreaker. Really what it is and what unites, I think, everyone on the campground is one thing, and it's the belief in the ethical stance of the non-aggression principle.
We all agree on the one important thing, which is non-aggression principle. Don't hurt people, don't take their stuff.
Don't hurt other people, don't steal their stuff.
And so the porcupine is a non-aggressive creature. The porcupine does not hunt, but it has a defensive mechanism.
Porcupines are cute and private and live and let live, and they have spikes if you try to attack them.
So it is, in a way, a libertarian animal, and that's why it ends up being the symbol of the Free State Project, and later on the Libertarian Party also adopted it.
Throughout the Porkfest, there's a porcupine that gets built. It's like twigs and sticks, like wooden stuff. And then there's a bonfire every night, and people hang out there all night. But on the last night, they burn the porcupine.
We're peaceful people, but we don't want to take shit, and we're not going to take shit. But that, you know, if you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone, and that's what makes New Hampshire perfect. Ultimately, it is the state motto. It's live free or die. And you know, General Stark said, live free or die. Death is not the worst of evils.
We have to say our favorite event to follow along with is Porkfest. They just let it all out.
What on earth?
You really see what they want society to look like. For them, it's a big party.
It's kind of like multi.
I thought it was better than the
And it's a time where they plot for furthering their agenda.
We're going to find people who are already identified as libertarian. And we're not going to convert them. We're just going to bring them together.
My passion is making New Hampshire free, and I'm like, we're only trending in one direction. We are just going to become more and more free.
I'm going to talk about secession. This is Secession 101, an individual state withdrawing from a union of sovereign states.
If you want to give a talk, you just sign up, you give a talk. If you want to teach a class, you sign up, you give a class. People attend, people don't. It really, truly is nobody pushing anything on anybody else.
Oh. We'll have somewhere around 800 events. Everything from knitting to putting together a Glock.
Everything from crypto and Bitcoin, gold, silver, to things like building rockets for kids or decentralized platforms.
8 to 10 o'clock each morning, we have free pancakes at our hub. As long as there's a big crowd here, we're going to just keep making these. We produce about 300 pancakes in the course of 2 or 3 hours.
I guess there's a body clothing optional group down there that I still haven't seen. So it really is like a little microcosm of what freedom is.
I'm retired military, so I've lived all over the world, but I had been living at the time in the early 2000s in Albany, New York. I made the move here in 2020. I just walked around and listened to speakers, and I really kind of fell in love with the idea. When I got my New Hampshire driver's license, I looked at it like, wow, I really made the move, you know, and for me, this is heaven, you know, the bears and the trees and me.
I have a different way of living.
Hi, I'm the girl who doesn't exist. My real name is Katura Lamb. I don't have a social security number. It's our family tradition not to have one.
A lot of people believe that if you don't have a social, you can't do anything with your life, but it's not true. Like, I've got my passport. I work.
So I got my banking account and then my driver's license. Yeah.
But the main benefit that I have seen is that you don't pay income tax. You're going to keep 100% of what you make.
So here's a paper proving that I don't exist.
What we're doing here was sort of like the Montana version of the Free State movement. I appreciate the Free State movement, but also I like where I'm at in Montana.
I love it. Good job. Good work. Take care.
They have been very serious about having people move into our state to change the way of life in New Hampshire.
We're a 501c3 nonprofit, so we are an educational nonprofit that tries to educate people about the benefits of living in the great state of New Hampshire.
In Porkfest, they actually have run for office workshops, and they say, tell us where you moved and we'll tell you whether to run as a Democrat or a Republican. For us, it's always a time of the year where we see who are their corporate sponsors this year, what kind of bills are we going to see at the State House next year.
My name is Bruce Fenton. I'm running for U.S. Senate representing New Hampshire. And I've been coming to these Porkfests for about 10 years. This is my 5th one, I think.
Julian ACR, Governor of New Hampshire. I'm running as a Republican, but I land very libertarian on pretty much everything.
Lily Tang Williams. I'm running for Congress this year in New Hampshire. Immigrants come here from all over the world trying to live their American dream. And with today's countries, like going down the wrong direction.
Free Staters have proposed bills and gotten them enacted into law. Free Staters have won more and more seats as time has gone by.
We're a low population state, and we have an incredibly accessible state and local government.
I'm Jeremy Kaufman. I'm a board member of the Free State Project. I'm a libertarian candidate for United States Senate for the state of New Hampshire. And I'm a big, giant Free State shill.
So I used to run for state senate, but I'm running for state house this time. We run for office because we just realize it is a way to affect the change that we want to see. But ultimately, if you're dealing with people who say, let's not hurt each other, and if we have a disagreement, let's talk it out. That doesn't seem like a crazy society to me.
If these ideas intrigue you, you should move to New Hampshire and come join me. A lot of people don't have that many friends, so we bring them here and we show them, like, this that you're seeing at Porkfest, this is our life all the time. Maybe we don't have as many bonfires at night or sleep in tents, but like the things that we're doing here, this is what we do all the time.
You haven't even been to your house yet.
I have not. I was just like, all right, I'll go on, go online, find a place to rent. And then when I got to New Hampshire, it was, I've been driving for like 15 hours. I'm like, I gotta get into Porkfest. Just get to the campsite and I'll just, sleep in the parking lot. That's what I did, just right where that car is. I almost couldn't fall asleep. I was so excited.
This is my world, but I love seeing and bringing people to this world. What sets this apart is that everyone gets to live exactly how they want, if even only for a week. And that is ultimately what leads a lot of these people to actually make that pledge, move out here and realize, hey, the week was great. What if this was every day in my whole life?